The United States was a newly independent country. Not even a decade and a half has passed since independence. President George Washington announced that the federal government would build a new city. It will be the capital of the United States. George Washington also passed a law in the U.S. Congress in December 1790. It was said that the new capital would be on the banks of the Potomac River. The responsibility of building the city fell on French-American artist and urban planner Pierre Charles Unfan. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. There will be a new capital, and there will be no big building for the U.S. president. How come? As thought, so act. Washington and Pierre began looking for a place to build the president's official residence. It was 1791, at what is now 1600, Pennsylvania Avenue. Now we need the design of the building. And it must be a building that expresses American pride. It will also become a symbol of democracy. Designs were invited from architects for the presidential building. Total 9 designs were submitted. James Hoban, an American architect of Irish origin, has the last laugh after passing various scrutiny. His design was finalized for the construction of the building. He received the gold medal for his realistic and smart neoclassical design. On October 13, 1792, construction officially began on the official residence of the President of the United States. This work was started by the then President George Washington. He never lived in the White House, though. George Washington chose the location of the presidential residence, from which there is direct access to Capitol Hill, the U.S. Parliament building, along Pennsylvania Avenue. A tech construction work continues for years. Finally, on November 1, 1800, the work was officially completed. However, there was still some work to be done. A year before that, George Washington died at the age of 67 on December 14, 1799. When the construction work was completed, the first residents of this building were then President John Adams and his wife. Since then, it has been the residence of almost all the presidents of the United States. Various renovations have been done in this government building from time to time as per the need and the taste of the presidents. Its interior decoration has changed. Many parts have been added. But outwardly, this house stands as a symbol of more than 200 years of tradition with its white appearance. The U.S. President's residence has been destroyed by fire twice. For the first time, in 1814. In the hands of the British during the war. Next time, in 1929. A fire broke out in the West Wing of the White House. Both times the building required major renovations. First reformed by James Hoban himself. President's Palace, President's House, Executive Mansion, this building has been known by different names for a century. These names were widely used in government documents and mass media. Finally, in 1901, President Theodore Roosevelt officially named the building the White House. Since then, the historical building has been known by this name. The White House has been open to the public since President Thomas Jefferson. Since then, thousands of people from all over the country can see certain parts of the White House. The White House is not only the official residence of the U.S. President, but also the Oval Office. The 6-story residential building has 132 rooms, 35 bathrooms, 412 doors, 147 windows. There are 8 stairs, 3 elevators, and 28 fireplaces in this building. The White House kitchen is capable of serving meals for 140 guests at once. It is said that 570 gallons of paint were needed to paint the exterior of the White House alone. The White House has 2 swimming pools. The first was launched on the 2nd of June, 1933. Grover Cleveland is the only U.S. president to have married while in the White House. The bride was Frances Folsom. The wedding ceremony took place in the Blue Room of the White House on June 2, 1886. On April 4, 1841, President William Henry Harrison died while still in the White House. He was the first U.S. president to die in the White House. He died just a month after his debut. For a long time, historians believed that President Harrison died of pneumonia. Later it is known that the cause of his death may be typhoid. President Taylor died at the White House on July 9, 1850. He died of cholera. Apart from these two, no US president has died in the White House so far. The current occupant of the White House is President Joe Biden. The next US presidential election will be held in November. After winning this election, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are fighting to go to the White House. Kamala is the current vice president, and Trump is a former president. Before that, Trump was a resident of the White House from 2017 to 2021.